All right, let's speak now to Pieter Cleppe, who joins us live from Brussels. He's the editor-in-chief of the Brussels Report. Welcome to the programme. So the NATO summit has wrapped up, the annual NATO summit. What do you see as the outcomes that have come out? What do you make of them? And is there really prospects for peace between Ukraine and Russia after this NATO summit?
With regards to the outcome of the NATO summit, I don't think there are any big surprises. NATO members have not been promising membership of NATO to Ukraine. They have only sort of provided relatively vague security guarantees, something that they are already providing by indeed giving arms to Ukraine. And this has even led to some tensions, with Zelensky openly grumbling about this, with the British Defense Secretary, Ben Wallace, retorting that Ukraine should perhaps be a bit more grateful and that the West is not Amazon. So no big surprises there, and probably for the better, because I mean, to take in a country that is at war with Russia is clearly not the best idea, I think. Then when you're talking about the actual conflict, I mean, this is bogged down. There's conflicting reports. It's clear that things are not going well for Russia. It's clear that Ukraine has been making a bit more progress since the attempted coup in Russia. But the lines are relatively, stable.
Yeah, and Pieter, we just saw this comment here, this very concerning comment from Sergei Lavrov, saying that any F-16 fighter jets sent to Ukraine by the West will be regarded as a nuclear threat. Do you, on this very point, we were discussing this now with my colleague Ubay Shahbanda. Do you think that there's more to come like this? And has this summit escalated the tensions between Russia and Ukraine even more now?
I don't think the summit has escalated the tensions. Perhaps indeed Russia is now escalating by suddenly out of the blue declaring that F-16s would amount to a nuclear threat. I think factually that's not the case. F-16s are F-16s. You can build a good case why it's not a good idea to give F-16s to Ukraine, but this is not factually related to nuclear weapons. From the very beginning, the West and the friends of Ukraine were careful not to end up in a conflict with Russia and trying to combine this with helping Ukraine. So far, so good. From the very beginning, I think it's already 15 months now that we're discussing whether to give jets to Ukraine and how and who should train the pilots, etc. So this is now basically more or less decided. Okay. And indeed, maybe people will second guess if Russia really would escalate anything. But so far, it's only the rhetoric, and we have seen Mr. Medvedev talking about nuclear war virtually every day. So the question is, how serious will the West take these Russian statements?
Absolutely. And let's just talk about 2 points that are very huge and tangible right now. Of course, the grain deal, which has such a big impact regionally, of course, for food security around the world, and also the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the biggest in Europe. Post the Lithuania NATO summit, where are these two huge points now?
When it comes to the grain deal, the latest is that Russia is complicating things again, but that has always been the case. This is a negotiation, so I think ultimately, yes, Russia may opt to use that as a sort of a method to further undermine Ukraine. But when it's using that instrument, it's also annoying partners across the world. So I think at the end of the day, Russia will opt for a compromise. Then, when it comes to the nuclear power plants, we have heard rumors, claims that Russia would be planning to blow it up. Frankly, I wouldn't know. I don't think we can exclude it. This is in line with sort of what Russia has been doing. Even if they blow up the nuclear power plant, I'm not aware of the actual risk. I don't dare to make any big pronouncements of that. It's clearly something to worry about. Yeah, I do think that it's something we should not discard. If you see what Russia has been doing, I don't see why they would not go there.
Very concerning indeed. Pieter Cleppe speaking to us there from Brussels. Thank you very much indeed.